When a crash landing leaves a father and son stranded on an abandoned Earth, the son must embark on a perilous journey to signal for help. This is After Earth.
Crash landed. 2 confirmed survivors. Do you know where we are?
No, sir.
This is Earth.
I was a big fan of M. Night Shyamalan back in the day, and I've been legitimately upset to see his sort of downfall in the past few years with some not so great movies, I'll leave it at that. And I'm not just a fan of his critically acclaimed films like The Sixth Sense, I actually really love The Village, that might be my favorite one, and a lot of people don't like that movie, so when I saw that a lot of people thought After Earth looked bad, I thought, you know what, maybe I'll like it, maybe I won't, I'll reserve my judgment until the movie comes out, but I did have to admit the trailer didn't look very good. It just didn't really look very interesting. And unfortunately, that is the main problem with After Earth. It's just not that interesting. There is actually some cool stuff about it, and I'm happy to say that it's not as bad as I was worried it would be, or I was expecting it to be based on the trailer. And while I don't think it's much of an incline for M. Night Shyamalan, I also don't think it's a decline. But let's get a little more into After Earth, starting off with the plot and the writing. And I have to say, this is definitely something that was lacking. The plot. I felt like the middle part of it, so the middle third of the movie, was just not really that interesting. It kind of felt pointless. I enjoyed the beginning for the most part, and I enjoyed the ending quite a bit, but I think it would have worked better as like a TV show if you cut out the middle section. Because of the environmental stuff, it kind of felt like the spiritual successor to The Happening, like, we get it, M. Night, reduce, reuse, recycle, I'm trying. But as opposed to The Happening, that message sort of was not overbearing, it actually just kind of felt like it's part of the story. It didn't feel like it was trying to drive home a message, which is good. There were 2 other messages in the movie, though. One I thought was good, and one not so good. There was this father-son thing, this family thing. Wasn't really feeling it. Felt very shoehorned, especially with the bird. But I did like the message about fear being a choice and how you can sort of overcome fear. I thought that was actually pretty cool. Maybe a little bit, not corny so much as obvious. I mean, it certainly wasn't subtle, and that actually is a problem I have with the movie in the writing and the directing, is that it's definitely not subtle at all, and that's what I liked about M. Night Shyamalan. But what I also liked about M. Night Shyamalan was his dialogue, or at least his monologue scenes. For example, the scene in Signs when Mel Gibson's on the couch with Joaquin Phoenix, that's incredible. And this movie was lacking that, because there was one moment where I felt like, oh, this is one of those M. Night monologues, oh my gosh, and it was when Will Smith was talking about the time that he ghosted, the first time he ghosted, and then all of a sudden there's this weird line where he says something like, it looked very pretty. I don't remember exactly what the context was, but I was like totally taken out of the moment. And there's a lot of very oddly placed humor in this movie. Very, very, very bizarre, especially when Will Smith says something to the effect of, hold on to what? And it was very bizarre. I didn't know exactly how to react, and that happened many, many times in the movie. There was this really just odd humor. Now, as far as the directing goes, what I did love about M. Night Shyamalan, like I said, was his subtlety, and I feel like that was really, really just non-existent in this movie, and if anything, the movie felt kind of generic. There were definitely some glimpses of M. Night Shyamalan in there, like this one shot where a door, a future door, is closing on a body and then opening again and closing again, and I thought that was kind of cool. There was also, you know, some close-up shots that I thought looked cool where the background was moving around, but Jaden Smith is like face right in the camera, and so aside from those couple of glimpses, the whole thing definitely felt kind of just generic. But unfortunately, worse than generic are the effects. They're not just generic, they're really bad. The CG in the movie is pretty damn bad, and you could tell from the trailer. That's why I was worried. I don't know why M. Night Shyamalan does this. It just doesn't seem like his thing, but I guess this is what he's into these days. These effects-heavy movies that just don't look good. Granted, I wasn't completely taken out of the movie because of the bad effects, but I definitely noticed them, and I kind of had to just shrug my shoulders right at the start and say, you know what? It is what it is. Get used to it. I have to say, I did like the set design. I thought they were pretty cool, almost skeletal. Like the inside of the ship looked like the inside of a skeleton, like a huge whale or something like that. And so I thought that was actually pretty cool, and I wish there was more of that. I feel like a lot of it was, while there were some nice landscapes and stuff, a lot of it just felt very flat because of the CG. And acting-wise, I have to say, I was pretty impressed by the fact that even though Will Smith and Jaden Smith are separated through pretty much the whole movie, it never really felt like that. It felt like they were together the way they were talking, and so I thought they did a pretty good job. The thing that was throwing me off was the accents, because it always made a lot of things they said sound really weird, and then it's not like so much they were acting badly, it's just the accents made it sound that way, so kind of confusing. But honestly, I thought Jaden Smith was pretty good. Sometimes he was a little bit annoying, but maybe it was more in the character because he wouldn't listen to his freaking dad bad, but there's this part where he starts yelling and screaming up on a cliff, and I thought that was pretty good. And then Will Smith, you know, he was kind of wooden through the whole thing, but that was the character, I guess. You know, he was sort of burned by things that have happened to his family in the past. And so while, you know, again, that might not be that compelling, I didn't think it was bad. I actually thought they were pretty good. So After Earth is definitely not a very good movie, but it's also not that bad either. I was expecting worse from the trailer and from, you know, the steady decline of the quality of films that M. Night Shyamalan has been putting out as of late. But I still have hope that M. Night Shyamalan will come back and impress me. I just wish he would stop with these effects-heavy movies. It just doesn't really feel right. But I want to know what you thought of After Earth. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was terrible? Or did you think it was not that bad like me? Let me know what you thought of the effects. I'm pretty sure you probably didn't like them. Let me know what you thought of the story. Did you feel like it was lacking something? Let me know what you thought of the writing, the dialogue, the weird humor. Let me know what you thought of the acting. Did you think Will and Jaden were bad, or do you think maybe it was just their accents that kind of made it feel that way sometimes like I did? Let me know anything that you want about After Earth. And that's pretty much it.
If we are going to survive this, we fight.